Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you an NFL Week 5 preview between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. Now let's start with the Chiefs in this matchup. Outstanding victory last week against the Minnesota Vikings, and Matt Castle showed some toughness in that ball game, and I like what I saw out of Castle, especially when he had that little spat with the head coach Todd Haley. Sometimes you need that little spat between two guys on the team to get things headed in the right direction. Now this week against the Indianapolis Colts, they have to have that same type of fire. Now offensively, what you want to do, if I'm the Chiefs, is I'm Todd Haley, I come in this ball game and I look at what the Chiefs do well. They can run the football, even with Thomas Jones and also McCluster. They have to make sure they attack the Colts on the edge. The Colts have shown some strength up the middle of their defense, especially with those linebackers and stuffing the run and playing downhill. So if you attack the edge in the running game, they can have some success against the Colts rushing the football. Now, passing the football, the Colts do give a lot of passes underneath. Their underneath coverage has some question marks. So if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm also working the middle of the field, and within that cover 2 defense, you know where the soft spots lie. It's between the corners and the safeties down the sideline. So Matt Castle has to be accurate this week, especially in those tight windows that the cover 2 presents when you're facing these guys. Now defensively coming in, I like what I saw to Tom Ali last week. He was able to get some pressure on a QB, 2 sacks. What he has to do this week against Curtis Painter is make Painter feel uncomfortable in that pocket. These guys will be able to get pressure, and if Justin Houston comes to the ball game, he's definitely going to be a force, and that way you have 2 guys having a team meeting at the QB. Now you look at the Colts coming to this ball game. One thing that's important about the Colts and what they do offensively, I look at the running game. I like DeLone Carter. I like Joseph Adai. They have a 1-2 punch. If Donald Brown can get his act together, they can have a trio of guys that'll be tough to stop. And you have to admit that Curtis Painter looks a lot better in the pocket than Kerry Collins, so the passing game probably won't miss a beat. And with the holes in the secondary, look for the Colts to attack the Chiefs vertically. Look for these guys to make the Chiefs cover every blade of grass on the football field with that passing game. Now that Curtis Painter actually knows the offense and will be able to run it, not as well as Peyton Manning, but just as effective. Now defensively coming to this matchup, they're going to have to get constant pressure on Matt Castle. One thing I like about the Vikings and what they were able to do is get Castle on the run, get him going left to right, and not give him the same original launch pad spot. That has to be the same type of game plan coming in for the Indianapolis Colts. And I also look for the Colts to play sound special teams. They can't allow Javier Arenas and company to get those big gains in the punt return aspect and also on kickoff return and give the Chiefs a half a field to work with. Now let's take a look at some X factors in this matchup. Starting with the Chiefs, the X factors for Kansas City has to come in, and you look at, can they build on that momentum that they started last week against the Minnesota Vikings? That's the biggest thing I'm looking for. They play with a lot of fire, a lot of spunk. Can they come into this hostile environment at Lucas Oil Stadium and play with some intensity? That's the biggest X factor I want to see out of the Chiefs. Now the Colts X factor has to be Curtis Painter. He has to have a repeat performance of the game against Tampa Bay where he played solid. The offense moved up and down the field. He made some key passes, so if he can have an encore performance, the Colts are going to be tough to beat throughout the rest of the season. They won't be as tough to beat as if Peyton Manning was back there, but they won't be the worst team in football like everyone is pegging them to be without number 18 back there in the pocket. I know I've been stretching this all out. I don't know who to pick. This is a tough game. This is really a toss-up. I'm going with Indianapolis at home. I think the Colts showing some life in the passing game, so I have to go with the Colts and their ability to stretch the field and attack teams vertically with Painter back there instead of Kerry Collins. For more NFL previews, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL or visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan. And listen to the Football Game Plan radio show, which airs Saturdays, 11 a.m. Eastern Time at blogtalkradio.com/footballgameplan.